Whoa, whoa, whoa. Gotta get some pork. Get some pork. Cook it on the fire. Eat it with my fork. Woo. How you going, folks? She's pretty windy. Hope you're doing well out there. Well, if you're a hunter and you're just joining me now, I'm not telling you anything you probably don't know. If you're not a hunter and you're a person that eats meat, then you probably want to watch this too. In fact, if you're a person that doesn't eat meat and doesn't like hunting and doesn't like people that do what I do, you should also watch this video. In fact, everybody should watch it because I'm talking about something that we have all got in common. And that's how we got here. Our ancestors. The people way, way back. Well, just an example, let's say 12 or 13,000 years ago, our ancestors, they pretty much looked the same as we do today, I guess, except they wouldn't have lived so long, didn't have all the medicines and things around, and of course there was no communication like we have today, but they had the same needs. They made love, they had their children, they raised their families, they stayed in little communities, they looked after each other, sometimes they killed each other. Sometimes they fought with each other, sometimes they supported each other. But one thing that they needed then, which we still need today, is they needed food. The only difference was back then, didn't have all the processed shit that we eat today. They ate differently. Okay, they didn't have the medicines to make them live longer, but they lived a whole different way. They spent a lot of their time in what's known as ketosis. That's where you're burning your fat for a fuel. Today, most of us, in Western society at least, we burn sugars that we get from refined carbohydrates and sugar itself and just junk, because we eat a lot of shit. Now, back then it wasn't like that. Now this pig behind me hanging up, as you can see, I'm going to put this on the fire, I'm going to spit roast it soon, and I'm going to feed my friends that are coming over later on today, and then we're going to park them on that and eat, and after that we'll have a few drinks and we'll probably sleep because we have full bellies. Well, our ancestors did something very similar to that. They would go out and they'd hunt their animal, and human beings are, well, apex predators really. I mean, we've been amazing hunters over the years. In fact, so good at hunting we've made lots of animals go extinct. In my country, New Zealand, the Māori hunted the moa to extinction. I think that's right. I think it was them that did it. And in other countries we used to have the giant deer, and I think in Europe the 3 species of sloth got wiped out. You know, and many years ago there was the mammoth. Think about hunting that big thing, a giant big woolly elephant. We'd chase it off cliffs, we'd roll rocks down onto it, or we'd gather around with a spear and it would charge us. And what we'd do is we'd go in with the spears and we'd spear its knees, take its legs out from under it, its joints. So we weren't as powerful and as strong as the other animals like the saber-toothed tiger, which is also extinct. I don't know how that got extinct, but those were much more ferocious than us. The lion, but we had one weapon that they didn't have, and that's that bit of jelly between our ears, our brains, because we could think about tactics, how to use a tool, how to use leverage, how to use a trap, how to use numbers and coordinate and work together like a pack. I want to get this pig on the spit. Before I finish, I want to say how it would go with us. We would go and we'd hunt that animal, and we'd all park up and we'd eat the fat and the brains and the offal, just about all of it, all the glands and stuff that we don't always eat today. And then we'd just park up. We'd lie in our cave or in our hut with maybe a man with his wife or many wives, I don't know how it was back then, and we'd eat, we'd feast, and we'd be full and we'd feel good. Because you and I know there's nothing more sustaining and nothing more that makes you feel like you don't need to eat, and that's a big fat steak. I mean, if you think about it, if you're already hungry, what's the thing you want to eat the most? For me, it's a big fat steak. Anyway, they'd eat that massive steak, they'd park up. But eventually, food would run out and they'd get hungry. They might save a little bit of fat to take on their journey to go and hunt again, but they would be hunting in a state of ketosis most of the time. That's where you haven't had anything to eat for a day or two, because once you've been fasting for over 16 hours you start to go into that, you're burning ketones for fuel. That's what being in ketosis is. Now the herbivores, They operate differently. They're grazing animals. They've got to graze all the time and keep those carbohydrates to break down into sugars to pump glucose into their muscles and that, so they can work. That's their fuel. But we're not like that. We can do it that way, but naturally we didn't evolve that way. Today we do it that way because we eat too much carbohydrate, but we didn't used to. We used to be hunting that protein as a form of protein, that animal, and after a while, even though we haven't eaten for maybe an hour and that animal's still running, it's a herbivore, it's got to park up somewhere and eat, but it can't because we're still chasing it with a spear. And what would happen is we keep on running and we get hot. And it would get hot and we'd sweat and cool off. It couldn't sweat, it'd get hotter. It'd become exhausted. Its internal organs would start to cook. But have to keep on running because we're chasing after it with a whopping big spear and great numbers of us. And we just lope along. Now that animal's faster than us, but sooner or later we'll catch up to its track again. We're tracking it because we're smart and intelligent. And it would see us and we'd have to run more. It had no time to graze or drink, and we keep on running. And it's getting hotter and hotter and we're sweating, cooling ourselves down. Eventually it would reach exhaustion. It would be legs splayed apart, its tongue hanging out like that. And we go in with a spear, give it the coup de grace to the heart, and there's a great pile of protein. Now we haven't eaten probably for 2 or 3 days by now, and not every hunt we would have would be successful. Sometimes we'd come home on an empty stomach. We'd eat the bit of fat we'd saved in our pocket and we'd go out the next day. Or maybe some of the other folk in the camp had got a few plants or something just to keep us going, but that real source of food we were after was that protein hit. That's why our human brains grew so big. We were amazing hunters back then. We had all sorts of techniques of hunting and trapping. But anyway, we would be most of the time in ketosis. That's where we're burning our fat for fuel. Now today, man, things have changed a lot. Today, very few of us get our fuel from burning our fat, and that's why we've got so much obesity, so much heart disease, so many things like diabetes too, because we're always getting that sugar the wrong way and it's buggering up our insulin levels and everything else. We can change that just by going on a ketogenic diet, and I'm not suggesting you do, or you can do what's known as intermittent fasting, which is probably one of the most very trendy things right now. It's been around forever, but people are starting to cotton on to this. Actually works. That means you just knock out basically breakfast and have lunch and dinner, so you're having 16 hours of not eating and 8 hours that you eat inside that 8 hour period. A chance to go mildly into sort of ketosis, but you can take it a step further and do 1 meal a day, known as OMAD, and that will also get you in. But to really be truly in ketosis, you have to knock out most of the carbohydrate rubbish that you eat. White rice, potatoes, bread, all the shit, and have a much higher fat, good fat, I'm talking about, like, you know, avocado, good animal fat, coconut. Oh, there's a whole list of stuff that goes on and on. The guts of the matter is, how we actually evolved is how our body processes stuff best. So if you go back to that basic diet, I reckon you'll keep better health. Now, there's a whole lot of vegans out there and vegetarians, and I really respect those people because they practice what they preach. They go, oh, you shouldn't kill animals and don't want to kill animals, and they don't. So long as they're not wearing leather or feeding their pet food, which is animal, then they're all good. The people that really get up my nose are the ones that stick hamburgers in their mouth and feed their dogs and cat food, and then point the finger at me because I go out and get a pig like that to feed me and my mates and my family and my loved ones. That's my 2 cents worth on the whole topic of meat and intermittent fasting. I haven't always lived like this. I used to eat a lot of sugar and shit, and I only changed my diet a year ago, and I wished I'd changed it sooner. I have often lived on 1 meal a day, but I have eaten a lot of rubbish through my life, drunken too much booze, and I guess as you get older and things start going wrong, you start thinking, okay, we better start taking care of ourselves before the wheels fall off and everything falls to bits. Good luck with your own hunting out there, gathering, and if you're going to eat meat, try to get the grass-fed stuff if you can't hunt it yourself, or go to your local butcher and support him, because a lot of stuff in the supermarket is just old cows that are recycled, and that's not very flash meat. Eat good meat with lots of nice fat on it. Gotta have that fat. Bruno's gone to sleep. He's getting old. We all are. Anyway, be good. If you can't be good, be careful. See you later. Now looking at us. Kaka. I'm heading on down, way down the gully. I'm heading on down, way down the gully. Oh, heading on down, gonna give me some. I'm heading on up, high up on the ridge. I'm heading on up, high up on the ridge. I'm heading on up, high up on the ridge. That handy dog gonna get that pig. Well, speak up, girl. Well, speak up, girl. When you find that pig. Well, speak up, girl. When you find that pig. Well, speak up hard. You speak up loud. Well, speak up hard. Well, speak up loud.